let's quickly talk about inventory management. I will give you a few tips, a few hacks, a few techniques, a few strategies to actually use this year if you're trying to optimize your inventory management, but also make sure that you are reducing stockouts, you are reducing, let's say, all kinds of suboptimal inventory. Okay, so let's first talk about inventory management. What is it really? When you think about inventory management, I want you to think about the process of overseeing and controlling the flow of goods within your operation, within your business, within your warehouse. Let's say where your warehouse work streams. So inventory management involves tracking the movement of goods and materials, monitoring inventory turnover, and also optimizing replenishment to ensure products are always available, right? Products must always be available. Otherwise, you run the risk of actually pissing off your clients. You do not want to piss off your clients. So what counts as inventory when you think about inventory management? So with the inventory, you have raw goods, in other words, raw materials. You have work in process. You have finished goods, and you also have maintenance, repair, and operations goods, okay, MRO. So when I speak about raw goods, those are materials or substances used in the production or manufacturing of products. So raw materials include wood, metals, plastics, or fabrics used to create finished goods. They come from one or more suppliers and producers. You also have a work in process. This is a partially finished product that awaits completion. Work in process represents production costs such as labor and machinery, and costs are transferred to the finished goods account and attributed to the cost of sales. And then you have finished goods. So this type of inventory refers to the number of products in stock available for customers to buy from you. So once a work in process is complete, it becomes part of the finished goods inventory. And finally, do you have the MRO, right? So MRO, maintenance, repair, and operations. So those are materials and equipment used in the production process, but not as part of the final product. This include personal protective equipment, cleaning supplies, office supplies, and tech equipment. So all those things are part of inventory. Okay, so that's important to really think about it. So let me talk to you about how inventory management works. I mean, most of today's inventory management systems are sort of digital and cloud-based. So gone are the days where you have to do things manually. You have to really maintain spreadsheets, Excel spreadsheets, or Google Sheets. Okay, so nowadays you have software, and the software works across devices and users to ensure that everybody interacting with the supply chain is on the same page. Essentially, what happens here is that the inventory program monitors and organizes all the elements involved actually in inventory management and actually syncs the data to your other businesses. So there are three main types of inventory systems. So you have perpetual, periodic, and manual. So a perpetual inventory systems actually continuously tracks inventory in real time. In contrast, a periodic system requires physical inventory counts at the beginning and end of a specific period. A manual inventory system is the old school pen and paper approach. It is really only a viable option if your monthly sales are in the single digits, okay? So whether you are a small business or a company using enterprise resource planning, inventory management is important for several reasons. It's one of those things where you have to really have a clear idea about what works and what doesn't work. So you have the ability to avoid spoilage. You can prevent actually dead stock. Dead stock won't sell, not because it is expired, but because it may have gone out of season, out of style, or otherwise become irrelevant. That's what we call obsolete stock. Also, you want to reduce storage costs. So warehousing is often a variable cost that fluctuates based on the storage you require. So when you store too many products at once or end up with a product that's difficult to sell, your storage costs increase. So avoiding this will save you money. You also want to improve cash flow. Okay, inventory directly affects sales by dictating how much you can sell and expenses by dictating what you need to buy. So both of these elements factor heavily into your business current assets, how much cash you have on hand. So better inventory management leads to a better cash flow management. And also, you are able to optimize fulfillment if you have good inventory management systems. Okay, that will help you actually streamline things over time. You can use tactics like inventory distribution, which involves holding inventory across multiple fulfillment centers to ensure your products are near customer locations. Let me talk to you about a few inventory management techniques you can actually implement this year to actually streamline your operations. First, you have demand planning, you have inventory counts next, and then you have LIFO versus FIFO. Let me first talk about demand planning. So, a huge part of good inventory management comes down to accurately predicting demand. So, while countless variables are involved in projecting, let's say, future sales, you want to pay close attention to a few metrics, and those metrics are going to be quite essential when it comes to optimizing your inventory, let's say, over time. So, you want to pay close attention to last year's sales during the same period, guaranteed sales from contracts and subscriptions. You want to pay attention to seasonality and also upcoming promotions. So that's really important. Also, you want to think about inventory counts. So besides demand planning, you want to really look at inventory counts. So regular inventory reconciliation is vital. What happens here is that in most cases, you will rely on inventory software and reports from your warehouse management system to know how much product you have in stock. However, it's important to make sure the facts match up. In other words, what you have in your warehouse is actually what you have on your balance sheet, right? There is a strong correlation between those two constructs. There is no better way to gain peace of mind than a physical inventory count or even stock tick. So update inventory records in real time. So access to a fresh, correct inventory data is key to moving products quickly and efficiently. You also have LIFO versus FIFO. So last in, first out inventory management assumes that the merchandise you acquired most recently was also sold first. If prices rise over time, then the most recently purchased inventory will also be the most expensive. That means higher inventory costs will yield lower profits and therefore lower taxable income. First in, first out FIFO determines the cost of goods sold. It means your oldest stock gets sold first, especially important for avoiding actually spoilage. You also have a RFID technology. I'm still going through the top inventory management techniques that you can actually you can copy this year. Okay, so RFID technology. You have barcodes and you have ABC reporting. So first, RFID technology. So radio frequency identification or RFID technology actually certainly has a place in the future of inventory management, but also warehouse management. So if you look at the supply chain from A to Z, you want to really have a place to actually insert RFID technology. In fact, many companies already use RFID tags to search for stock, combat phantom inventory, and decrease excess inventory. You also have barcodes. So barcodes, some retail stores use a barcode scanning system to keep track of product stock levels. This involves scanning some type of barcode that identifies every product, sending that information back to your IMS so you can track each item. So that's really good. And barcode inventory systems automate the tracking of products from the moment they enter your store to the moment they are sold. It actually provides accurate, real-time insights into your inventory, helping you actually in the end make smarter decisions and keep your customers satisfied. See, the whole thing is if you're trying to reduce attrition, if you're trying to increase customer loyalty, if you want to have better inventory systems, and barcode systems can help you. You also have ABC reporting. So ABC reporting just means that you are categorizing your inventory using an ABC analysis. You can use an ABC reports to grade the value of your stock based on a percentage of your revenue. So A is actually the percentage of stock that represents, let's say, 80% of your revenue. B is the percentage of stock that represents 15% of your revenue. And C is the percentage of stock that represent 5% of your revenue. This is kind of similar to the Pareto law, which says 80% of, sorry about that, 80% of your revenue is coming from 20% of your stock. You also have inventory valuations, you have MOQs, and you also have safety stock alerts. Those are pretty strong methods when it comes to inventory management techniques. Okay, let's really go a little more granular here. So when you think about inventory valuation, this is actually the cost of unsold inventory at the end of a reporting period. And this can be 3 months, this can be 6 months, this could be 1 year, this could be 1 month. Okay, so since inventory is often your largest asset, it's important to consistently measure its value. As a matter of fact, you have to do this to actually comply with US GAAP and IFRS. US GAAP stands for United States Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, and IFRS stands for International Financial Reporting Standards. Okay, so basically, inventory is an asset, it's a short-term asset, so it is actually on your balance sheet. So how you value inventory impacts your cost of goods sold, net income, and any inventory, all factors that directly affect profitability. There are also tax implications associated with your inventory valuation method. Okay, so the way you value your inventory will have an effect on your balance sheet, on your income statement, but also on your cash flow statements. You also have a minimum order quantities. MOQs are the smallest number of products that you must purchase in one order from a supplier. And suppliers actually set MOQs to avoid wasting resources on orders that deliver them little or no profit. So by strategically managing this metric, you can actually be in a situation where you are optimizing inventory levels, you are reducing cost, and you can maintain a smooth supply chain, ultimately contributing to the success and profitability of your retail business. You also have safety stock alerts. So safety stock or par levels are the minimum amount of product required at all times. So you know it's time to make an order when your inventory dips below this predetermined levels. Okay, that's important. Now, par levels should vary by products, customer demand, and the time it takes for a new stock to arrive. So your inventory management system will track this information in a retail sales report for you. I'm still continuing to talk to you about inventory management techniques, and now I want to talk to you about inventory audits. I want to really touch a little bit on Six Sigma and also on supplier relationships, as well as outsourcing inventory management and just in time. So let's talk about inventory audits. So it's important to audit inventory regularly. So you want to run monthly and annual audits to ensure accuracy between your stock quantity and financial records. You want to investigate the discrepancies until you find and address the root cause. You also have Six Sigma. So Six Sigma is actually an optimization method used in supply chain management to reduce excess and obsolete write-offs, inventory often sold below cost or donated. Next, you have supplier relationships. So strong relationships with your suppliers will give you more leeway when unexpected problems arise. Let's say what happened during COVID, for instance. So when you have an existing supplier relationship, minimum order quantities are often actually negotiable. So you can really negotiate the MOQs. So to maintain your end of the relationship as a retailer, let your supplier know when you expect an increase in sales, or let's say a large number of purchase orders, so they can adjust production and lead times. It's also important to go over supplier performance. You want to identify where suppliers can improve or when to cut them off, okay? And you can also outsource inventory management. So what you want to do is that if you are able to fulfill, like if you can fulfill your orders through a third party, that's fine too. And also when it comes to Even when it comes to fulfillment networks, you have players such as ShipBob, you have EasyShip, you have Shopify Fulfillment Network that really do a great job. And you also want to consider just in time. So, just in time or JIT inventory management is about keeping the lowest inventory levels possible to meet demand, replenishing them just before a product goes out of stock. So JIT requires careful planning and forecasting, but works well for rapidly growing brands with scheduled launches and product line extensions, if you will. When you think about inventory management, you got to really think at some point about multi-channel inventory management. This is very important, especially when it comes to giving you the the optimal strategy you need. Now, selling on multiple channels is no longer a question. It's pretty much a mandate if you want to compete with other online retailers. That makes inventory management even more important and complex. Your customers don't care where the products are. They just want to know whether they are in stock and if they can get them. That's why an integrated multi channel approach is so important when it comes to inventory management. So, you want to have a software tool that allows you to sync in store data with online data so you can always optimize stock levels and know which product you have in all locations. Okay, so that's important. So you have to really also understand that when it comes to inventory management, you also have to look at the systems. You have to look at the software. Inventory management systems comes in different shapes and forms. You have inventory management software. You have inventory management apps, for instance. Okay, apps such as a Stocky, such as Thrive by Shopventory. You have Ship Hero. You have Soho. You have a ShipBob. Those can help you a lot. Okay, and so inventory management apps let you monitor the live status of your stock room. Those apps are handy for employees involved in running your business actively, allowing them to access information from a smartphone or tablet. So, most inventory management apps offer inventory quantity and location tracking, stock level alerts, and order monitoring. So, that's kind of cool. And when it comes to inventory management software, this actually comes as a standalone program, or it can be built into an e-commerce platform such as BigCommerce, WooCommerce, or Shopify. So using the inventory management software, you can monitor and adjust your stock replenishment schedule and track orders from sale to delivery. Now, the future when it comes to inventory management, you have a pretty bright future. You have a predictive analytics. You have artificial intelligence actually having a great inroads into the whole process. And you also have IoT. So IoT stands for Internet of Things. So the IoT devices can reduce the time it takes your store associates or your warehouse associates to find inventory by providing real-time location data. This data can also help you make more informed and effective inventory management decisions by knowing exactly how much stock you have and where. So that's kind of cool from a scalability point of view. So here's the takeaway. In today's conversation, I spoke to you about inventory management. I defined what the concept is. I gave you the types of inventory management. And finally, I explained to you the 14 inventory management techniques you need to really consider this year. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.